A new subclass possibly coming to Destiny 2. It could be darkness based, but hints in Vesper's hose point at a direct opposite of arc energy. Today we discuss what this new orange power on Vesper Station is, and when your Guardian may be able to wield it for the first time. Welcome Guardians, today we talk about this new orange energy from the dungeon. We'll also speculate with some crazy theories, so take none of this as complete fact and feel free to leave your own in the comments down below. Throughout Vesper's host we find weird Elixni cabling, something directing them to build this anomaly. From it flows an orange energy that is compared to arc. Estrella says arc energy isn't supposed to look like this.
Power draw on that anomaly is far beyond safe limits. Arc energy shouldn't be that color.
If you died to this anomaly blast, it says you were killed by an anomaly bolt. The closest comparable thing to that is of course arc that has arc bolts, so another connection there. Nothing straight off the bat confirms this orange energy is related to darkness. At least from the gameplay, there's some lore hints. In my opinion, if it was more related to say resonance, it would straight up say like resonance blast. Nezarek's blast in the Root of Nightmares is called Overwhelming Blast and appears a little bit different.
Guardian down. Guardian down.
Resonance is pure darkness and was thought to have been tied to a possible new subclass. This orange energy could be seen converting into stasis back in Beyond Light. So if it isn't out front labeled as darkness, that leaves us with these connections to arc. It makes it seem like something is wrong with the arc energy that's supposed to be here. This arc energy is corrupted, and the source of that corruption is inside the puppeteer, what's controlling it. So corrupted arc energy possibly corrupted light. There's been theories about a third subclass for years. I've made many videos and speculation on them. Witch Queen murals showed us these green, blue, and yellow, possibly stasis, strand, and blank. A year later, Veil Containment and Neomuna had a different color, red. The final boss room had three sides of the room, one was green, one was blue, and one was red, leading many to believe that this was a hint from Bungie regarding the subclass 2. The pillows near the puka pond were another addition. The theories point to the third darkness subclass being the opposite of arc, both lore-wise and on the color wheel. Osiris says this about arc.
Arc is the element of motion and conduction, and is created when the electromagnetic forces of our universe struggle to achieve balance. According to Ikora, arc teaches us that change is a fundamental aspect of the universe. To wield it is to ride the storm of the unguessable.
So arc is about the movement and current of electrons. The opposite of said movement and electrons could be radioactive elements and decay. Looking up the opposite of electrons, you will find positrons. Positrons are the antimatter counterparts of electrons. For example, the antiparticle of an electron is the positron, also known as the anti-electron. While the electron has a negative electric charge, the positron has a positive electric charge and is produced naturally in certain types of radioactive decay. So if this new power was opposite of arc, large amounts of it would be super harmful. In theory, this new subclass should be red. Maybe it is red, but the power we see is orange, or maybe it's just going to be an orange subclass. Then again, we do have solar, so I don't think they want to make it too similar. Now these are all of course with just theories, but in the final shape, Nezarek's nightmare power was alluded to once more, a power that would deal with forcefulness and control.
Nightmares. I thought after we killed Nezarek that they'd go away, but they haven't. The pyramid must be partially responsible for them too.
Harris wrote extensive documentation on nightmares after her last encounter with them. She and I believe that they are a yet untapped power of the darkness. One that Nezarek co-opted for himself and wove into the fabric of his pyramid.
So even after his death, they persist.
Which raises a larger question. Is Nezarek truly dead? Can something that exists as an idea ever be destroyed?
We then come back to the question of, would this new subclass even be darkness related? There's an empty subclass spot for darkness, but now prismatic is a thing. Darkness deals with consciousness and memory. This arc opposite, this corrupted light possibly, would it be darkness? The closest connection we have to darkness of this whole dungeon and energy is that we know the puppeteer connects minds of all these Elixni. It controls them with its own mind to build the anomaly and bring life to this orange energy. Time is suspended. All that remains is the appointed task. The spinners craft tow ropes, power lines, and all-purpose cable, hour after hour without rest. The white captain moves among them with her many limbs. She feels what they feel, knows what they know as soon as they know it. She uses this information to align, and together they build something new in this home they've found. Every Drek yearns for more arms than their captain allows. Every four-eyed Elixni looks with envy upon the eight-eyed. Every Kalan Archon raises their horns as high as they dare. Now, together, they are as no Elixni before them. A miracle, a being of hundreds of limbs, lungs, eyes. The white captain gently touches the limb previously named Yariskis. Her appointed portion of the great diagram flowers to life in her head. Legs stumbling under her, she moves toward the station's prow. One limb may be unsteady, but their great shared body is strong. Faint noises make no sense, words she doesn't understand. The unelixni babbling of a foreign mind. The only mind that matters is the white captain's. Hands connect circuits and power lines. The diagram is beautiful but difficult to grasp. She searches for the right shape, the right configuration that will let power flow through its appointed channels. The work goes on until the hands tie off the last cable. The eyes look up, the knees buckle in joy. The heart surges along the bright paths of the diagram. Somewhere in the joined crowd, a single hand throws a single lever. The mind rejoices. Orange light flares to life in the cold dark. It flares in hundreds of souls. Yariskis is there, somewhere. We know Clovis Bray was trying to control or create a Vex mind he could control on Vesper Station. This Vex mind was likely the initial source of this outbreak. When I think about it, something had to start it here on the ship, right? Maybe it was some type of Vex unit we've never seen before, as the AI mentions powerful Vex units from Europa. The Morning Star crashed into Vesper after the events of the Deep Stone Crypt raid. Thus, the Vex subject may have been able to breach containment and transfer host into Atrax's body. So that could be the origin. To me, it seems like this corruption started here on board. How would something from an incomprehensible space super far away randomly corrupt a fallen exo aboard a space station in Sol? A Vex unit does make the most sense, a hive mind like the puppeteer, an entity that deals with time travel and being able to be connected to the hive mind over vast distances. In the Cytorachnes facade lore, a dumpster diver in Neomuna finds records from someone's expedition of one of Neptune's moons. On the moon, they find a yellow color surrounding all the ship debris. In a previous video, we speculated that this card could reference the New Frontiers concept art we've seen. Vesper clearly seems to be hinting toward the future, so maybe this yellow power comes from this world and the technology here. Here's that card again from that video. Dumpster diving wasn't the classiest of hobbies, but it gave her insight she couldn't get anywhere else. At least, that's what she reminded her ghosts as the two scoured the alleyways of Neomuna. The helmet had a lovely heft in her hands as she pulled it from a pile of expired tech and half-melted Vex. This was a rare find. Turns out, people who live in a highly advanced virtual society also have an almost perfect waste disposal system. Almost. As she examined her prize, she spied something poking out from inside. She retrieved 5 yellowed sheets of actual paper, covered in barely legible writing. Expedition number 17, Thalassa. Unsatisfied with excursions on Neptune, I've begun to take my trips a bit further to its surrounding moons. Boring, she skipped ahead. Appears to be a conglomeration of space junk long fused together. Deep blue, green, and yellow hues ripple across amalgamate hills. Too many big words. I do not appear to be its first visitor. She continued to skim. Shipwreckage, old pieces of armor, coloring unlike anything I've ever seen, not made for human. Huh, the helm sure looks like it would fit. Large creatures, many legs. Her eyes widened. Finally, it was getting good. She turned the page over. Nothing. Blank. With a scoff, she crumpled up the papers, tossed them over her shoulder, and stalked off with the helmet. Expedition log number 17. Neptune's second closest satellite, Thalassa. Neptune's wilderness proved unsatisfying, so I begun to take trips further out to surrounding moons. Equipment detected several chemical signatures. Samples should be plentiful. If readings are accurate, collected resources will help Neomuna greatly. Touchdown evaluation. Initial readings detect nominal quantities of phosphates and bountiful networks of framework silicates. Networks are jutting out from nearby caverns and visible to the naked eye. I cite novice oil painting skills to describe the network's hues as such: deep blue, green, and yellow. Note cross-reference hue interpretation with paint tubes. I cite minimal creative writing knowledge to describe the landscape. The hues ripple across amalgamate hills that roll as far as the eye can see. Initial exploration. Came upon a shipwreck, very old, parts burnt out beyond recognition. Found items in nearby area. 1 armored glove, unusable, built for 3 digits, one of which appears opposable. 2 armored shin guards, simple design, both cracked. 1 helmet, visor intact. Observations. The armor is painted, markings unrecognizable but appear intentional. Hazard. Fauna observed at nearest cavern. Large creatures, many legs, pincers. Having no experience in zoology, I conclude probably unfriendly. Discovered the unique pattern on the found helmet matches the coloring of the creatures. An attempted disguise? Sample collected framework silicate 2.2 kilos. Continued observation. Creatures are unfriendly. Attempted to collect more samples, unknowingly encroached on territory. Theory is that the helmet was indeed an attempted disguise. Perhaps I will utilize it as well. End documentation. Whatever this power from the anomaly is may be tied to humanity as we've talked about, given the Lodi entity transmitting it. Maybe it was a human, or some type of AI. Maybe it was on one of these ships that crash-landed in Frontiers. We do know that during the Golden Age, most of humanity's technology like the ships ran on arc energy, so maybe somehow it got corrupted. Frontiers concept art also shows us some Vex imagery. So if we ever get this new subclass, it will be interesting to see where it comes from. Is it darkness-based like Resonance or Nezarek's nightmare powers? Or was it accidentally created by humanity? Vesper has ties to Braytech, Neomuna has ties to Ishtar, and maybe Neomuna's hints about a third red element could be true. Who knows? Anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. Do you think this new orange power is hinting at a possible subclass in the future, maybe in Frontiers? And if you'd like to see some more Destiny lore and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.